Hey there, River Tree kindergarten students. It's Mrs. Miller, and I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about weaving potholders. This is the same loom that you have in class, and if your parents were able to get the document uploaded or downloaded, these are the same colors I had in my diagram in the document, and I'm actually going to make the document match these colors here. And if you remember, we have those two words that start with W. There's the warp that we put on the loom, and then there's the weft that we put into everything else. And as you see, I've already woven some things in here. And I want to show you one thing. I was watching a video or something, and one woman had this really great idea to put a rubber band around all of these warp ones here. And she actually had a rubber band on each side, but we have these really huge rubber bands at school. And I've put some with the supplies. And if you put one around this way, and then if you take it to the back and maybe give it a couple twists. The sun just came up. I hope that doesn't mess up my video. And you take it over and put it over there. I think you'd actually want it to go there and there, because then it won't get in the way with when you have to weave. And you could do the same thing down here. I actually have things that are making shadows here, so I think I will move them. So that's one thing to do with your rubber band. It will just keep your warp loops from popping off. And as you see, I've already done some weaving. I've got a pattern. I had my pine and the purple, the pine, the purple, the pine, the purple, or green purple. The company gives these colors kind of fancy names. And then we have the turquoise and the red, turquoise, red, turquoise, red. So my next one is turquoise. And I just wanted to show you one way to make it really easy to weave. So if you think that it's kind of hard to make your weft go under something, I just want you to show you something. But if we look carefully here, this red one, my last red weft loop went under the purple. So I want you to think first, is my next turquoise loop, does it need to go over the purple or under it? I hope you said over. So I'm going to go over this one, but rather than try to pick that one up, which I can't do, what I usually do is I push down, and then I push down on that one. So I push down the purple one, the first one, and tuck this under, and I push down the second purple one, and then I can get my weft loop under. And remember, you're going to go over both pieces of each one. So I'm going to push that down, and then I can lift that up a little bit. I'm going to push the purples down and lift up that green one. I want to point out something here. Can you see that right here my loop has twisted? I don't like my loops to twist. I like to keep them so they'll be nice and flat throughout the whole thing. So if you see a twist, undo it. Push down and pop that one up. Push down, pop that one up. Now when I get about halfway, I will take my loop and pull it so it's hooked over here on this peg. And then I'll keep moving, pushing down, lifting that up, pushing down, lifting that up. And you see I'm on a table here. I'm on a desk. I'm not doing this on my lap with it wiggling all over the place. It's nice and flat. And then when I push down on this, I'm actually meeting the table underneath here. Push down and under the last one. And then you want to check. Did you go over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, oops, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And I can see that my loop here has not gotten twisted anywhere. You really shouldn't probably use a pencil. And I'm going to hook it over here. Now, these loops that I'm using, the red and the turquoise ones, were used before, and they're very, very stretched out. So as you can tell, mine is actually kind of long here. It's all right. Now, in the document I wrote, I talk about we don't want to have a hill in the middle here like this. If you leave that like that, you see it's not woven in, and you already did some of this in class. You pulled things tight, but we want to make sure we don't have a hill, because otherwise we'll run out of space. And then you have these fingers, which make nice combs. And you can just comb your weft down so it's nice and snug. And you can tell my weft actually goes down a little bit lower here. That's okay. Everything will work out in the end with this. So now last time I went over the purple. Now I'm going to go under it. So I'm going to push this one down and tuck that under. Push the green ones down. Tuck it under. Push the green ones down. Tuck it under. Push the green ones down. You have smaller fingers. You probably might actually have an easier time doing this than I do. Oop, I went kind of far, but that's with those stretchy loops. I see I have a twist, so I'm going to just straighten it out. Oop, I had two twists actually. And if you want to make sure they aren't twisted, you can actually separate them like that. And then hook it over. It's really windy out today. You might actually be able to hear it outside. I'm right near a window. Comb it down. And then we will continue. Now, as you keep weaving, you know, this is going to get farther and farther up the loom, and you're going to have less and less room to weave. And your fingers might have an okay time doing it because you have small fingers. I will actually use, there's a crochet hook that was taped to your loom. It's gray, and you can actually take that and weave it under and then pull your loop through. So that's something, one way you can weave when it gets to be done. When you have these little stringies like that, I would say just get a pair of scissors and pull them off, or sometimes they'll tear off, but you can just get a pair of scissors and clip them off. Hook it over the side, pull it all the way through, make sure it's not twisted. That's pretty. You know, this loop is not as stretched out as the other one, so I am having to tug it to get it under that last one and then hook it over the edge. And as far as these rubber bands here, if you didn't get any from school, you could just use any rubber band. So I'm going to stop this now and do a little more weaving. And then I will show you the last couple loops. I'm getting those woven in and how to actually get the potholder off the loom and crochet the edges.